Hello, this is Chuck from Professional Sports Care and Rehab. Today I'm going to demonstrate the 3D dynamic stretching series. We're going to be doing our hip flexors, our hamstrings, and our calves. Okay, with 3D stretching, it's a great dynamic, especially for you runners, because when we move, we don't always move in a sagittal plane. We're going to move in the sagittal plane, the frontal plane, and transverse plane. So I'm going to really stretch all three of those areas, or sort of dynamic warm-up. You'll notice the speed that I do this, and it can vary. I like to try to say it's a breath of air. Just slow down, exhale your air, that's it. As we just demonstrated earlier, talking about diaphragmatic breathing, it's the same idea. So let's start with the hamstrings. I put my heel, and I usually recommend a chair if you're going for a run, a bench, or something like that. So I'm going to put my heel on there, toes up. Once again, I'm going to flex from my hip with this hip hinge position. And you're going to feel that in the hamstring. So we're in the sagittal plane here, and all I'm going to do is dig my heel in, stick my bottom up, exhale. Step back in again. I recommend doing 3 to 5 times in that direction. And all I'm going to do let's go to the frontal plane, left first. There's actually 5 positions. So I breathe in, get my air in there. I take all the slack up the sagittal, and all I'm going to go is to my left in the frontal plane. Then come back. Take it up in the slack in the sagittal, and I'm going to go to the right. So left, right. What I'm not doing, this is a mistake I see some people do, I'm just not side bending. I'm always taking the slack up in the sagittal, reaching high. As I reach high that way, my bottom goes that way, and you're going to feel a tremendous stretch in your hamstring. So it's left and right. Then the final part is a transverse or a rotational. Okay, get up in the sagittal plane, chest up, and I just reach to the side. My bottom's going in that direction. As my driver, in this case, it's my hand on the right, is going in that direction. And then I go back the other way. Once again, I use my breath. So there's your hamstring, and then I would just switch to the other side. Sagittal, frontal right, frontal left, transverse right, and back to the left again. So there's your hamstring. Now the next one we would do is our hip flexor. Once again, a chair. You could do this on the ground, but just sometimes if it's an early morning run and you just want to really quickly warm this up, this is a great way to do it. Foot down here. I'm going to start with the sagittal plane first. Breathe in, and I come back. I did not feel that in my back. You'll notice I'm a nice neutral. I'm just a little pelvic tilt as I reach high to the sky. As we mentioned earlier with the hamstring, we're going to do both frontal, right, and left. So right, I take it all the way up, slack in the sagittal, and reach. And you notice, especially on the right, I'm getting a nice IT band stretch here. So let's breathe in. And then we'll go to the transverse or rotation. Left, right. And then we would just switch legs. And you notice I'm going fairly fast. Like most of us, I really do hate stretching. So this is a quick way to dynamically warm myself up using 3D stretching. The final part to that, look over here for a second, is the calf stretch. Same thing, I'll put my leg here, hands come up, I'm driving forward with my hips, sagittal, using my air. Then we'll go frontal to the left, frontal to the right, and transverse to the left, and transverse to the right. If you notice in all those positions, I always hook the slack up. I just didn't side bend or rotate. Always take all the slack up, then I reach across using driver. My driver is my air and my hand. It's a great way for you runners to warm up before you go. This is Chuck from Professional Sports Care and Rehab, and I'm out.